Today, I'm going to introduce and cover the basics of a fat loss plateau and how you can avoid one altogether. What is going on, Jean-Mao with Exalted Vigor Athletics, and welcome to Everything Fat Loss Plateaus. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can avoid, prevent, and altogether rid yourself of the plague that is a fat loss plateau. Firstly, I want to address the common themes that are associated with a fat loss plateau. A fat loss plateau occurs after you've been successfully losing fat for a period of time, and then everything changes and your results come to a screeching halt. You're no longer able to lose weight, and no matter what you do, your body will not budge in your favor. At this point, you might ask yourself if you need to eat more, if you need to eat less, or if you need to increase your activity level. Or your frustration might be so great that you give up altogether and accept fat loss failure. Nonetheless, rather than give up on your desire to lose fat, it's important to understand how you reach that fat loss plateau and what you can do to either prevent or avoid another plateau in the future. The simplest solution for determining if you're actually suffering from a fat loss plateau is determining if your caloric intake is accurate. This is done by recalculating your caloric intake and tracking your calories to see if you're abiding by an accurate fat loss intake. If you're truly eating in a caloric deficit, then it's unlikely that you'll have a problem losing fat. That is, unless you're in a fat loss resistant state. While suffering from a fat loss plateau, it really won't matter how strong your caloric deficit is because your body is resistant to fat loss. How does this happen? In brief, most long-term fat loss programs are associated with diminished leptin levels, and diminished leptin levels are associated with fat loss plateaus and difficulty losing fat. Briefly defining leptin, leptin is your fat-burning hormone that is responsible for long-term food intake, energy expenditure, and inhibits your hunger. When you follow a fat loss program for an extended duration of time, your leptin levels will naturally decrease. After long enough, your leptin levels will be diminished enough to result in difficulty with fat loss. Furthermore, weight loss that's associated with the leptin diminished state often comes in the form of muscle loss rather than fat loss. If you want to learn more about leptin and the hormones responsible for fat loss, go ahead and check out AFL 2.5. Now I want to address how you avoid and prevent a fat loss plateau. Simply put, you mitigate the impact that your fat loss program has on your leptin levels. If you can prevent your leptin levels from being on the constant decline during your fat loss program, then you can help ensure a straightforward fat loss experience. How exactly do you mitigate the impact of your fat loss program? Through semi-regular dietary reprieve in the form of refeed days. Dietary reprieve will reset your fat loss potential, boost your leptin levels, and help make for some productive workouts for the subsequent days post-refeed. I want to emphasize that a refeed day is a more modest and logical approach to a cheat day. Whereas a cheat day involves a large influx of calories that's typically above maintenance intake, a refeed day is going to remain beneath your maintenance intake. Refeeds provide all of the benefits of dietary reprieve, physical and mental, without the drawback of gaining additional fat or nullifying your fat loss progress. Hormones are slow to react to changes in your diet and lifestyle, which places a great emphasis on being consistent with your fat loss program. If you continually jump between extreme fat loss and frustrated binging, you'll only fall victim to the vicious cycle of stagnant progress. And I'm sure you would prefer moderate and consistent fat loss rather than devoid progress. Fat loss isn't always a linear progression, and it's for this reason that you need to be consistent with your program and course correct as needed. Don't let a week of slow progress entirely put you off, and try to be conscious about how your body is reacting to your fat loss program. What's more, your potential to lose fat decreases as you get leaner. That doesn't mean that you need to be more aggressive with your fat loss program. Rather, you need to practice patience and show resilience with your program when the going gets tough. If you're feeling exceptionally tired or that your body just isn't getting enough nutrients, it might be a good idea to dial it back. And by no means does this indicate that you're giving up on your fat loss goals. Ultimately, by listening to your body and being consistent with your fat loss program, you'll help safeguard your leptin levels from plummeting and help keep your fat loss potential high. If you haven't noticed by now, fat loss plateaus are entirely avoidable, and don't need to define your fat loss program. Consistent progress with your fat loss program is entirely possible, granted you take the necessary steps in order to ensure it. Keep your leptin levels from being on the constant decline, and your fat loss potential will not betray you. Utilize refeed days to give yourself some semi-regular dietary reprieve, and you'll help boost your leptin levels. And stay consistent with your fat loss program to safeguard reaching your fat loss milestones in a timely manner. Finally, embodying a lifestyle that is conducive to consistent fat loss is the most assured way that you can lose fat and avoid a fat loss plateau altogether. It's for this reason I created the freebie ebook that comes with this video, Accelerated Fat Loss 101. This ebook is designed to help you tackle fat loss with an effective nutrition and exercise program that'll help you reach your fat loss goals in an expedited manner, void of bothersome plateaus. You can find the link to download your free copy of Accelerated Fat Loss 101 in the description below. If you want to get regular content updates, like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank you for watching this video on fat loss plateaus. I hope you understand your ability to avoid and prevent succumbing to a fat loss plateau and can drive your fat loss program to be filled with consistency and fat loss success. That's it for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.